Hello everyone, Cheek here with another Transformers review, and today I will be reviewing the Transformers Kingdom Warfare Cybertron Trilogy, Rhinox. And here he is in his packaging, which was not destroyed this time. Maybe it says we got back, I don't know, but it was not destroyed. Here he is in his Rhino Mode, robot mode. Looks pretty impressive, although I will admit the face sculpt is not, leaves a little bit to be desired. Side of the box, standard Kingdom artwork. Back of the box transforms in 35 steps. Rhino mode, robot mode, and barcodes and stuff, and that's about it for the packaging. So let's go ahead and get him opened up. Alright, so here we have Rhinox out of the packaging, and as you can see, he does look somewhat impressive. He does feel a little bit flimsier than the Generations version that I have back home. Kind of wish I had him here so I could do a comparison between the two. But one thing I do like is this a little bit, but also at the same time not, because then you can see the bottom of the mouth of the Rhino head. And I mean, it's a minor quibble. His weapons, though, I do love the way they look. If you look at, there's a silver, copper, brass, whatever color. I'm not very good on the metallic colors, but it looks absolutely stunning. Very accurate to the show, if I remember right. The only thing that I don't like is that they don't spin. The Voyager version that we had for Generations did have a little button, and you press them, and they would spin like they did in the show when he would fire, which they were like little Gatling guns. It was absolutely awesome. He was like a powerhouse scientist, doctor, well, awesomeness. Yeah, so he's really cool character. I feel like they could have done a better job with the head sculpt. Kind of wish they had. I mean, it looks good, but knowing that it's not how the character looked in the original show, it doesn't hit quite right. But as you can see, it is mostly green with copper details, red eyes. The mouth, it looks good. It just not Rhinox, at least not the Rhinox that I know and love. But his head goes up and down that far. Got a little bit of wiggly waggly. Yeah, so that's about it for the head's articulation. The detail on this, I love the silver for the teeth, copper for the chest, so the inside of the mouth, or what would be the mouth. Do like the spotted color on the skin, the texture. It does look really cool. The light pink for the toes. Same with the down here on his feet. And then copper for the waist, mostly green plastic and brown plastic for the Rhino. Rhino backpack a little bit right here, doesn't look too bad. There's yellow or white, pinkish for the horns, red for the eyes. Might add some pupils to it, might not. And then, of course, armor padding, which looks cool. Armor pads, and for articulation, these go about that far. It does look kind of hollow, kind of weird. Well, it's kind of an interesting shoulder joint. I haven't really seen one quite exactly like that. It does a full 360 that way, as it pivots up here instead of down here. That's what's kind of weird about it. It does have bicep swivel, about a little less than 90 degrees bent at the elbow, and he does not have wrist rotation. He does have hip rotation, but he doesn't do a full 360 because parts get in the way. But I mean, that's unless it's like in some scenes, like with Optimus Primal, where he does, or some characters where they do a full 360 degree rotation on their hips for transformation or whatever. But I mean, as far as articulation, it's not bad. You do not have any thigh rotation, at least not up here. You do get some right here, down there instead. Whoops, flipped out a panel by mistake. Legs can go forward that far, back about that far. He can almost do the full splits. A little over 90 degree bend at the knee. And he does have quite a bit of ankle tiltage, and that's about it for articulation. And for comparison, let's bring in, I do believe, his wave mate, Tigertron. And they are fairly comparable in size, at least in height anyway. And as you can see, like I mentioned earlier, come on, stand up. Oh, that's why. Okay. That Rhinox is kind of the powerhouse of the Maximals. I mean, he's kind of OP, which if you see this episode where he becomes a Predacon reprogram, he almost completely destroyed the Predacon forces. He could have single-handedly like wiped everyone out. Like he was that awesome. Yeah, amazing character. Wish they'd done a little bit better with the face, but let's go ahead and get down to transformation. Alrighty then, to get him transformed into a Rhino mode, the first thing you want to do, of course, obviously, is take off his guns and set them off to the side. Then open up his forearms, like so. Flip in his hands, close up, rotate down. Same on the other side. Open up, flip in, close back down, flip around. And there we have his front Rhino legs done. And then just go ahead and pull up on his back a little bit, get that up and out of the way. Oh, and another thing for his robot mode, I mean, it doesn't go in that far, but they say to push it in on the, it looks like it goes further in on the picture, but I guess it gives the illusion, shall we, that maybe the bottom part of the mouth is in there. I don't know. Anyway, and then you want to flip his head around, like so, and then you want to rotate this back, right here. It hinges like so. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily want to clear properly, but you just get in there, and then you just press down like so. And here we have most of the front of the Rhino done. Then just flip this down, close up, press back in. And these, if you want to, just so that they don't get pinned unnecessarily, just kind of get them out to the side a little bit. And now for the hard part, maybe even face palming, head smackingly hard part, the legs. They are not as straightforward as I would have thought, but you go ahead and open the front panels, flip this out, go ahead and flip this around, then it tabs in right there, flip around, tab into place, and then this is where it's a little less straightforward. And the problem is the instructions, they aren't I mean, they're just kind of out there. They're not the greatest, in my opinion. But you flip that out, rotate around, pull that down. You have one hind rhino leg done. And I kind of had to figure it out on my own a little bit, because it wasn't extremely clear on how you're supposed to do this. But you kind of just have to, well, okay, I was not expecting that to happen. But, yeah. Mushroom pegs aren't always the greatest choice, because sometimes they will pop out. Okay, anyway, get that pop back on. And then you have to, because this is part of his back. I want to pretty much get this up here. Come on. Then get this to come down. I managed to get it done once. I should be able to do it again. But let's go ahead and get this part on his feet. This right here tabs into right there. Just get that to tab into place. And then kind of want to get this underneath here. Come on. And sometimes it pops out of place. Kind of, come on. There we are. Get it in there, like so. Kind of want to rotate down his armor from earlier. Rotate down. There we are. Should have done that first. Then we get that in there. And then we got one side done. I don't know exactly what it is about getting up to here, but it's just a weird flipping it around, and then you get it up in here. Once you get to this point, it's not super hard. It's just getting it, well, situated initially. Second is just like the first. Make sure that this is flipped open. Go ahead, flip rhino leg out, flip around. And then, of course, make sure that this is rotated down. And that doesn't go up inadvertently. Then, there we are. Tab into place. And then get this up here. Underneath here with the other foot. There we are. And then get this rotated down and get this to click into place. And you got mostly everything done. Oh, and another thing that you can do at this point is put his two guns together like so. You get these two, you get all the holes to these pegs to peg into the holes like so. Press them together, nice and squozen. There we have these two pegs, and these pegs go in, and make sure the handles are facing back. And these just tab into the sides of his knees. Come on. Problem is all the Rhino bits are getting in the way, but you are supposed to do it around this point in the transformation, and it's fighting me. Of course it's fighting me, but you're supposed to get it to peg into there. Maybe it'll peg in on the other side, but then again maybe it won't, because maybe they got him missized. There we are. At least it pegged into that one side. Okay, now get that back under there because of all that pressure of just trying to get it to cooperate on the other part. But you just want to get all this lined up like so, and then get it clipped. And it sounds like the guns just came loose. There we are. Get all squozen like that. And then, like I said, the guns, yeah, let's just get them out of there. Because it's not going to tab into places, I think they wasn't sized quite right. But that, if you can get it to work, you can get it to work, and that's great. But weapon storage isn't the most important thing to me when it comes to figures. On the instructions, it says that that's one of the last things you do is closing that up. But just have that in. Must have rotated back up a little bit earlier. Yay. Of course, it's being problematic, but you just get that down. Hit this back in here. Definitely not one of the fun Kingdom figures. Like, most of them are pretty fun to transform. Yeah, Rhinox, not as much so far. He is definitely quite a fighter. Yeah, definitely. And then tab into place. There we are. Got this mostly. Come on, there we are. Get you down and get this. Come on, there we are. Tabbed in, and it came out on this side. Great, there we are. Okay, and then just close everything up like that. Okay, and there we are. Have his mouth so he can do a rhinoceros roar. Okay, and there we have Rhinox in his Rhino mode. Oh, took a lot more than I was hoping it would, thinking it would. But yeah, definitely back half of Rhinox. Really hard, really hard. Front, very easy, straightforward. Back, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Don't want to repeat that again anytime soon. You'll probably get a little smoother maybe the more times I do it, but like I said, as you can see, very, very frustrating. Not much as far as articulation in Rhino mode. You do get some forward and back on this, and you can get forward on here, so I guess you can make him sit back a little bit, but not much. There's not a whole lot you can do. He's mostly just a Rhino statue in his Rhino mode. Doesn't look too bad. Like I said, I wish I had Generations Rhinox to compare alongside. But one thing I really do like about this mold more than the Generations one is that his mouth was this part down here. It like moved, it flipped down and slid down. Like it looked really cool. Like I like his robot mode, amazing. Rhino mode, once he gets a little old, like it doesn't want to sit into place. It would just drop, like his jaw would drop. So, and that is definitely an improvement in that regard. And for comparison, here we have him with his Wavemate Tigertron. So that's about it for Rhinox. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.